into politics. We start this hour in the Middle East, and at least 32 people have reportedly been killed by Israeli fire while heading towards an aid distribution site in Gaza. This is according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry and the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis. The Israeli military said it fired warning shots at individuals who approached its troops and ignored calls to stop roughly a kilometre away from a distribution point that it said was inactive at the time. But residents at the scene dispute that account, claiming no warning shots were fired before live rounds were used. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which operates the aid sites, said there were no incidents or fatalities at its location. It also noted that people had been repeatedly warned not to travel to distribution points after dark. The Israeli military has said that it is reviewing this incident. Fatalities near aid sites have become a regular occurrence in Gaza. That according, of course, to local reports. Let's join now our guest, Eric Woolberg, who is a political analyst, joining us from Toronto. Eric, thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak with us. Further reports of casualties around aid sites. What's your initial thoughts upon these revelations from the Gaza-run health ministry and hospital officials?
Well, it's just continuing Israel's slow destruction of the Palestinians. Its goal is to really rid all of so-called Israel of its Palestinians, the natives that live there. So the latest casualties are just a continuation of what's been happening on a daily basis for months now, of basically trying to make the Palestinians see that they cannot stay. It's either leave or die. That seems to be the two choices. And Trump is backing this as well. So we can't expect really a sea change in that policy. Fortunately, there are countries with a conscience that are organizing. The recent coalition of mostly BRICS members have been trying to promote the use of all of their initiative, which would be basically boycotting Israel and trying to arrest IDF soldiers and also officials. For instance, if Netanyahu visits Colombia, it's very unlikely he would be arrested.
Yes.
So these.
Eric, sorry to interject. I'm conscious of how much time we have, and I do want to touch on one point before we move on. Of course, questions have been raised by NGOs and charities, as well as organisations like the United Nations, about these Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid sites. Do you think that there should be more onus and more importance put on resolving this issue of aid amidst calls of further humanitarian crises surrounding hunger? While we wait for Eric to come back on, of course, this reported incident, we have to clarify, this is reported by Gaza-run health ministry officials, but this comes after the UN in recent days spoke about hundreds of reported deaths around these aid sites, with a large proportion of those at aid sites run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This organisation, of course, US-backed, and has been the subject of questions relating to the safety of people. But to provide some further context, Israel have been saying consistently, following the resumption of aid after a blockade lasting months, that their fear is aid getting into the hands of Hamas, which of course will continue, according to Israel, will continue Hamas's ability to stave off Israeli attacks and continue this war that has seen potentially tens of thousands of civilian deaths in Gaza. Of course, around 50 hostages taken in those tragic October 7th, 2023 attacks carried out by Hamas, still being held, both dead and alive hostages being held by Hamas. The backdrop of all of this is a continuation, of course, around dialogue towards a potential ceasefire. Optimism coming from Israel and the United States, with ongoing discussions being held in Doha, Qatar, but there are some key sticking points. We are going to move on now, and we will, of course, continue to bring you all of the updates that we get from Gaza.